Hello to all machinists and allies of the labor movement. This is the 141 Report, and I'm your host, Dave Lehive, a communications representative for District Lodge 141. This week, our topic turns to ground safety as we have a discussion with District 141's American Airlines Safety Coordinator, Dennis Spencer, and a special guest from Kansas City. We will also report about IAM members again are meeting at state conferences around the country now that COVID numbers are beginning to fall. Join us as our 141 report starts now. Good morning, sister and brother. How you both doing today?
Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, it's great to have you both on this morning. Dennis, I've had you on before in the past to talk about safety issues. Some of our viewers may not know who you are, so I always like to have our guests come on and introduce themselves. And I know you brought along a guest yourself this morning, a sister of ours. I want you to kind of do the introduction and then walk her into the program as well, too, okay?
Yes, absolutely, Dave. My name is Dennis Spencer. I've been the safety chair in Philadelphia for the past 14 years. I'm a District 141 safety coordinator. I am currently the alternate for the ERC for the GSAP program that just started, and I am the administrator of UnionSafe141.org. I asked Asia McClain. She's from Kansas City. She's a GSAP advocate. The reason I asked her is because when I met Asia, her station had some issues, and we didn't have an advocate or a safety rep in that station. I went to her. She promised that she would give her all, and I promised to support her, and here we are. So I believe that Asia needs a little recognition for her hard work in her station.
Well, thank you. Asia, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Thank you so much for coming on. What's your history? Where do you come from? How did you get started in the airline business?
Hi, I'm McClain. I am from Kansas City, Missouri. I actually used to be a truck driver. It was a family business we were in. We were movers. I hired on with with US Airways in December of 2014. I started out just like a regular part-time ramper who was just a normal person. And I got into the union. My dad's in the union. My family was big union people for the post office. And I got into the union to save myself, honestly, because I wasn't really getting enough help in my station. And so I just needed to be involved and understand a lot of things a lot more. And then as I further got into the union more currently in my present day, I was Rich Howe suggested I speak to Dennis Spencer in training, and it kind of just kicked from there. He was like, all right, you're going to be my girl. And I'm like, no. So ever since then, it's just been go, 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 get things done. And he's helped me a great deal. Our station is still growing and improving. We got a long way to go, but honestly, we've made a lot of improvement.
That's fantastic. So Dennis, reason why I had you on, we've got some new developments. We now have a GSAP program at American Airlines. So I wanted to bring you on so you can give our viewers an update and bring us up to speed of where we're at.
Okay, so the GSAP program started March 29th of 2021. As of this date, we have over 100 submissions. We had 60 in May. If you compare that to our ASAP program at American Airlines, they averaged between 50 and 70. So we're right in there. So May was a big month for us. We have over 35 to 40 safety concerns that were filed. We're looking at each one. We're working good as an ERC team. We're moving slow right now because we're new, but things are moving. We have over 100 advocates throughout the association that are signed off for training. They were trained and they know the GSAP program, and they're bringing that back to their stations.
That's great, Dennis. Sounds like that's the program's moving right along. Asia, since you're a guest and you can give a perspective from another city and as an advocate for safety, can you tell me how this program is going to help our members?
Yes, so I am finding for myself getting to learn more about the program when I went through training, and then just having members file certain safety concerns. It's basically giving you an opportunity to voice your concerns without someone shutting you down and not listening to you. And in our station, we kind of have that. We take it to a manager and no one hears a situation going on. And with this program, it's out there, it's noted, and everyone can see it. So it benefits everybody because there's no more sweeping things under the rug. It'll give you an opportunity to have a good voice.
Dennis, what kind of training is now going on to inform our members about the GSAP program?
Well, after the advocates were trained, Dave, we had a regional call that our members could call in and ask questions. The entire ERC board was on these calls. We did it for about a month. That is completed. What we're finding out now is that we need more advocates. So we are starting another program to more advocates can join and take the training. We are also putting together a recurrent class for the advocates that are already signed off, because now that GSAP is running, we are getting a ton of submissions, and we feel that maybe our advocates should have a little bit more information on what we're seeing so they could be more prepared to answer questions in their station.
Okay. So Dennis, have you sat in on the ERC yet with Tony? Have you partaking?
Yes, we've been doing it since the second week of April is where our first ERC meeting was, and we meet every week. Currently, I have one today. I had one yesterday. We are trying to catch up, so we're having 2 a week, and they're going from approximately 9 o'clock in the morning till 6:30 at night. So we're trying to hit. We're trying to hit. Again, we're slow because we're new, but we're trying to get to all the submissions as soon as possible so we can start moving these through and closing them out.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So the FAA sitting down with you on these meetings?
Yes, sir.
That must be a unique feeling, having the third party in there, a neutral party overlooking the safety, right? That's their main goals. They want to make airlines safe and workers safe.
Well, Dave, I was very familiar with the GSAP program because of our brothers and sisters at United, Bill Sallow and Brian Liftner. And I've been in ERC meetings before. And it's like a family, if you kind of want to put it that way. Everybody knows, once they get together, what everybody's thinking, and then they discuss and talk it out. Yeah. That's what we're going through now. We're going through them growing pains. We are getting along. I'm not saying that, but I just think the questions that we're asking, we're trying to be detailed, and I think that we're being a little bit over detailed as far as the questions that we're answering, and there are growing pains that we got to go through. So again, we're meeting 2 days a week to try to move things along a little faster.
Okay, great. Asia, before we close out, safety in general, why do you think that our members need to be more aware of this program, this GSAP program? And where do you think we'll be in the next few years with the GSAP program really entrenched into our daily lives?
So members need to be more informed about this program because it gives them a voice where they didn't have a really good voice prior to this. This gives them an opportunity to go through the questions, remember things, and not have to wait so long for an investigation to stir up and then have to go back 3 weeks later to remember all the stuff that happened during times. It also gives them an opportunity to put down information that's not really asked prior to them going into talking about whatever their safety concern is. I feel is this, if we continue this program and it goes in the right direction, with everything going on, it'll give us an opportunity to look over safety as a whole in the industry and improve it. Whereas what one person may see what's happening, they don't see it from every perspective. Like headquarters can't see what we see something completely different when we're working a ramp. Just like if it was a ticket counter, they see something different when they're upstairs. this program gives everybody an opportunity to see a viewpoint from where that person who's filing the report is coming from.
So before we start to close out this report, Dennis or Asia, is there anything that we might want to mention or you might have forgot to talk about before we finish out this report?
Dave, I want to add to what Asia just commented on. What we're seeing is the TWU and the IAM had different work cultures. And by looking at these GSAPs, we can see where the IAM lacks in certain safety aspects and the TWU lack in certain safety aspects. And that is something that on both sides that opened our eyes to say, hey, our cultures of work is different. And now it's coming together. So that was a great point that Asia made there.
That's really interesting. Asia, was your station a mixed station? Did you have TWU ramp personnel that were in that station?
So when we first started, no, it was all IAM, but within the last month, we had about 6 TWU members come in from Dallas and they're returning home now. So we do now have a mixed ramp work group. And like Dennis said, it is a completely different environment from what they consider safety and how IAM looks at safety. But from the most part, from watching both cultures work together, we all want to get together and make our space a lot safer than what it currently is.
Well, listen, I really appreciate the both of you getting up early this morning to do this report with me. I greatly appreciate the time and the dedication and work that you both are doing for safety and as advocates of this really good, important program. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you having me as always, whatever you need.
Thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate everything Dennis has done for me and everybody in the IAM and the safety culture. And I do hope this program continues and it will flourish.
If you'd like to get more information, one of the things I didn't ask you both, maybe you can kind of give me some information on this. Where would our members go to learn more about GSAP?
That's a good question, Dave, because I'm having a lot of questions shot at me during the week on that exact question. There is a GSAP page on JetNet, and our members are having a problem finding it. So what I do is I direct them straight to UnionSafe141.org, the GSAP page, and you can file GSAP right from there. So that is what I'm giving out as the best way to go.
That is really good information. I'm going to make sure that our communications team is aware of that. So it's on UnionSafe141. Great, good stuff. Well, before we close out, we have one more report to talk about. As our nation and union over the past year and a half have been quarantining and fighting the COVID pandemic, our union and membership has been waiting for life to return to normal. Over the past 2 weeks, we're beginning to see that happen as the public is again beginning to return to the airports in huge numbers. We are also seeing members of the Machinists Union meeting again as safety restrictions are relaxing with the fall of COVID numbers from more members vaccinating. This week is a good example of where 80 members from some 2 airline districts, 141 and 142, including Districts 1, District 98, District 65, and some 16 locals from nearly 55 locals in the state of Pennsylvania, attended their legislative conference in York, Pennsylvania. Legislative action is so important for IAM members, and for our returning members, got to work this past Monday, meeting for 3 days to meet with several ranking political members from state and federal levels. PA delegates met with the Lieutenant Governor, John Fetterman, who gave a passionate speech about workers' rights and the empowerment of unions and members. PA members had the first welcoming the Attorney General of the state, Josh Shapiro, who talked about voting rights and making sure everyone has the right to vote protected. Congressional representatives came and spoke live to the delegation, such as Connor Lamb from Pennsylvania's 17th District. Pennsylvania machinists used technology to video conference with such as Chrissy Houlihan, representative of PA's 6th District, Congressional Representative Mary Gay Scanlon from the 5th District, Madeline Dean from the 4th District, Matt Cartwright from the 8th District, who were all given a chance to take questions from the delegates. The conference also was given video reports from Susan Wild from Pennsylvania's 7th District and Mike Doyle from the 18th District. Topics at the conference included and focused on labor reform, workers' rights, including in-depth reports about the Protect the Right to Organize, or commonly known as the PRO Act. Grand Lodge Representative and Legislative Director Hassan Solomon talked in depth about this important piece of labor reform. Overall, PAIM members were glad to be back in person at this week's conference, and they were given information that they can use to inform the membership on the shop floor. Union members need to know who supports workers, and District 141 encourages all members to get involved in politics because, as Hassan Solomon stated in his presentation, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. Well, this wraps up this week's 141 report. I want to thank Dennis and Asia for their in-depth reports on GSAP. And I want to thank all the viewers who continue to support this weekly report by tuning in and sharing the content to other union members. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye for now.